You know? Well, those things will increase. The woman had said, I told her we need to just stop selling eggs.
Yeah.
But the folks ain't gonna want to pay that 50-cent surcharge. I'm pretty sure their profit has went down. You know, they running at a deficit, and that's gonna lead to more calamities, man. See? Yeah, man, that's gonna lead to more calamities, more miseries. You know. Back in that message,
Come. It says, verse 8, it says, all these are the beginning of sorrow.
Right, it's just the beginning, man. It's just the beginning, man. Shit gonna get a whole lot worse. You read that with a second Ezra, can you get that real quick on the Sunday? So all these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Don't make us get that word sorrow. Matter of fact, we looking up words. See, that's what we do, man. Yeah. That's what you do when you studious, man. That's the spirit the Lord put on great millstone, man. To search out a matter. What you tell you is the honor of kings to search out a matter, man. That word sorrow, I got it. It says the feeling of deep distress, simple Google definition. A feeling of deep distress caused by loss, disappointment, or other misfortune suffered by oneself or others. And that's what the Lord getting ready to bring. A whole bunch of misfortune, man. On a lot of people, man. It says, feel or display deep distress. And oh, look at this. The phrase that they use, the sentence that they use, it says a woman had cried all night, sorrowing over the death of her husband. And a lot of your husband gonna die, man. You gonna send him out to get you some fucking food and he ain't coming back. You know? A lot of you women gonna be sad, crying. What is that? The husband's gonna die in the
That's what I was thinking about.
I think it's second years is I think it's second years 16 year in the war. You know? Yeah, that's when that poverty really gonna hit, man. You know, through the spirit, the apostle had said, I want to say about 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago, to get silver, man. Hopefully you hearken.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 33. The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegroom.
Yeah.
The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers.
See? Go ahead.
In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine.
See, and see? The husband gonna perish of famine. Yeah, he ain't gonna be eating because he gonna try and feed your fat ass. You know? See? He gonna worry about you eating. And then you gonna be sad because he gonna die. Yeah, beginning of sorrows, man. You people deserve it, man. You go back to that same man.
Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14 and verse 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter.
Right, greater evils, man. Things are gonna intensify. They're gonna grow in their perfection, man. Man, can you imagine people out here looking crazy as hell, hadn't ate in a couple of weeks, and the Lord got the men of the Lord looking, you actually looking healthy, you know? Are they looking like they wilting away, man? Because that's what it's gonna be. These people gonna be wilting away, man. I was going to say pine away for wants of the fruits of the field.
If I may, today when I was at work, on my route I saw perceived to be Edomite, and it was Eve, and I think it was her child. They was sitting on the side of the road, home with bags, and the kid got her head on the left. They looking like they finna cry and shit. I said, dang. Like that. Like how you just going into it. That was a perfect illustration of that, man.
Yeah. And man, it's like,
You know, I'm just into being equivocated.
yeah, beautiful. And you want to see that transpire more and more around here in American Babylon the Great, man. You know? Now that healthcare, those healthcare workers that's losing their job, that HHS, man, you know those are proud ass people. You know? They were taking their vacation faithfully. But the Lord took all that mirth away just like that, man. You know? Beginning of sorrow. You got it out.
Come. Verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
Yeah, persecution is coming too. We give you sweet and the builder here. We don't shy away from anything here at Great Millstone. You got to be abreast of the report. If you ain't notified of what's going to happen, how you going to prepare yourself, man? Knowing brings comfort. Yeah. You got it out.
Come. And shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Right, that Edomite, man, he knew a little bit of what we talk about, you know? He went so far as said, I thought you guys were gonna beat me up. Oh no, them the ones with the studs on their arm. Yeah. So you can distinguish between who the fuck ISUBK is, right? And who Great Millstone is, you fucking demon. Lord gonna fuck that dude up, man. And you gonna, and I'm just gonna say, you're gonna be hated of all men for the testimony y'all shot for his name's sake, man. So that's part of the counsel. You gotta digest that. There's gonna be a lot of folks that vomit that up, man. You know? And one group I'm thinking of fucking Wi-Fi, you know? You gonna be ripping your fringes out your t-shirts, nigga. All that slaying the Edomites with one precept, 50,000. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. That ain't what it's about, man. All this goddamn entertainment. Nah, this ain't what it's about, man. It's about warning the people of the times we're entering, man. Oh, yeah.
Come.
You got something?
Just put that back. You said, knowing brings comfort.
Yeah.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh by Shema Shah is his treasure.
Yeah, the fear of the Lord is our treasure, man. But you see where it says wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our time. Having this truth, having this understanding, knowing what's going on is going to stabilize us, man. Can we get that word stability in the Hebrew? I want to see what that says. I've never looked that word up.
This is the word for stability. Strong's H 530 says firmness, fidelity, steadfastness, steadiness.
See that? While everybody else gonna be falling apart, you're gonna be stable, man. You got more?
I got a definition of fidelity, but infidel, but it says a simple Google definition of fidelity. It says faithfulness to a person.
Who is that person? Yahweh Shah, man. See, the Lord gonna have us steady in that time for oh man, since thou has we gotta get it. What is that? Revelation? Kept the word of my patience.
Yeah.
Let's get that. See?
The book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Yeah, that's your fidelity to Yahweh Shah, man. Matter of fact, continue.
Which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
So that time of testing, man. Can we get that word keep in the Greek? Yeah, if somebody just tuned out, then we done went into another word. Shake your attention span is terrible, man. Yeah, he just set out a deep sigh. Oh, they going into another word? Won't that Edomite come back up again so I can see him cut the fuck out of here, man?
Yeah, this is on the phrase will keep. G5083, Terrio. It says to attend to carefully.
Yep.
Take care of.
Yep.
To guard.
To guard, go ahead.
It says to keep one in the state which he is.
Yeah, to keep one in the state which he is. So while everybody else falling apart, you still gonna be stable. You know? The Lord gonna have you in the mindset of don't take that fucking chip, man. See that? Well, everybody gonna fall apart, like, man, I gotta go, my family can't eat. You know? They gonna fucking lose it, man. And that's what's gonna lead to their death, their certain death, man. But the Lord said he's gonna keep those. See that? And going back to that, the stability of our time. See?
If I may, that word terror, it sounds like to tarry. Lord, he's gonna tarry with us. He's gonna continue to be with us. What it says, fear not thy wearing Jacob, I will hold thy right hand. And the Lord, he gonna protect us in those days, man. Like the brothers going into, hey, Lord willing, we are there to elect. And ain't no food out here. We gonna be the ones eating, looking healthy and shit, while you niggas out here all dirty and crusty, dying off somewhere, man.
That's gonna be the look though.
Yeah.
Dirty and crusty. You know, you ain't gonna worry about how the fuck you looking that day. You gonna be watching your face. You ain't definitely gonna be brushing your fucking teeth.
No, so my mate, you know, the Lord willing, we the men. You know, the Lord promised us. You know, He promised the elect, man. He said, "My servant shall eat."
Right.
You know, you're going to be hungry. You know, my servant shall drink, but you're going to be thirsty, man. You know, that's why it's important to be serving Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. You know, so that we can eat in these terrible times, man.
Man, many great miseries. You know? Yeah, they were gone, 3 of them. Yeah. See? But that's what you're gonna experience. You people gonna experience many great miseries, man. What was that? We read that, right? Was that the end of that? We read that second Ezra 12. Did you finish that? Go back to that St. Matthew.
Come. This is St. Matthew, chapter 24, in verse 10. It says, and then shall many be offended.
Right. See? And then, hey, man, these I'm telling you, man, these guys who been talking all this shit, you know, bringing weapons to camp, you know, being in the spirit of mirth, you know, these Passover parties, these fashion shows, you know, even IUIC do the fucking line dances, man. You know, these TikTok challenges, you know, man, all that's gonna be required of you, man. Read that again, huh?
Come. It's Matthew chapter 24 and verse 10. And then shall many be offended.
Right.
And shall betray one another.
Right.
And shall hate one another.
Go ahead.
And many false prophets shall rise.
Yeah, many false prophets shall rise, man. Again, going back to that crazy ass dude talking about the UN gonna take us up out of here on ships. Nigga, you crazy as fuck, man. And this nigga said after Jacob's trouble, you lost your goddamn mind. The nations rejoiced when Esau put us on his fucking feet, man. We read this Revelation where they would not suffer our dead bodies to be put in graves, man. They ain't tell us who we were according to the scriptures, man. Why the fuck you think they were gonna goddamn all of a sudden take us from this fucking nation and bring us in? This nigga said Sudan or some crazy ass shit. You niggas crazy, man. But that's the product that we're seeing, man. The last days already. You're gonna come scoffers walking after their own lust. You go into that word scoffers, a false teacher, man. You got Eve making all these goddamn videos. Eve, you know the scriptures say that you shouldn't teach. But you still do it. How about the Lord gotta fuck you up too? Yeah, man. What verse you in? You got something?
Precept to back
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Precept to back up Matthew 24:10, and it says, many shall be offended and shall betray one another and hate one another. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies.
Yep.
And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein.
Right. Man, it's like, go ahead. You got it.
It says, the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run.
Right, you want to have folks fighting against each other like enemies, man. See, you already had Biden last year say if you think your family doing this, turn them in. How much more this nigga Trump, man? You know, he probably put a bounty on that shit. You know, 500, 1,000. And your folks who you think was your folks gonna turn you in, man.
Yeah, he had started that Christian task force.
Oh man, and that's heavy. Because what's a task force? Can you look up that phrase? What's a task force, man? What's a? And then he put the Christian in front of it. Christian task force. You know? Let's look up task force.
Simple Google definition of task force: an armed force organized for a special operation.
See that? An armed force organized for a special operation. So now you got a Christian task force. What special operation are they organized for, man? So you just can't take these words for what is it, at face value, you know? You gotta actually dive into some of this stuff, man. So a Christian task force, read that definition again.
Simple Google definition of task force: an armed force organized for a special operation.
See, an armed force organized for a special operation. Go ahead.
And it says a unit specifically organized for a task.
See? So what's this Christian task force going to be organized for? The persecution of the Israelites, man. Go ahead.
That was it.
That was it?
I would say, but you had that, I know he was FBI, but he was talking about the Israelites who took it to the, I know he was on, what is it called? C-SPAN. He took it to the, he was a woman judge. He basically trying to, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. The FBI director.
That's it.
And she was like, well, have they done anything? He was like, no.
Yeah, that dude.
You know, and she was like, have they given you a reason that you would think they would do anything? He was like, no. She said, well, so why are you observing them like this then? He ain't had no answer. But that was a task force. See, Esau, man, you can't hide your hatred, man. That shit gonna come out, you know? And you gonna have 2/3 of our people feel the same way. You know, as we read in St. Matthew 24, man. See? You got it right.
Con. Verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
Right. But the elect is not going to be deceived, man. They're going to be able to see clean through the deception. Go ahead.
And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Man, you mentioned, you know, those clothes getting shot up and shit. You know, iniquity is abounding, man. The love of many is waxing cold. We done went into that phrase wax cold before. The Greek word there is psycho, man. So these people have a psychotic mindset. You seen the guy put his baby to death? You know, he was arguing with his baby mama. He done dropped the baby off. You know? You got women. I seen a story where a woman took her kids to the movies and she put them to death because she didn't want to take them back to the dad. You know? Man, that's a psychotic act, man. These people are ready to lose it. How much more when it ain't no fucking food, man? When the power's out, you know? And the shit that you had once at murder. When the internet go out, man. Or when you ain't got no power for the internet to serve you. You ain't got no water, man. See? Yeah, man. These people really gonna have that chaotic, psychotic mindset, man. they're gonna be beautiful, but the men of the Lord, they're gonna be stable. They're not gonna be operating in the same fashion you people operate in, man. You know? I always go back to 3 holy children, you know, and Daniel, how they ate, they asked to eat a pulse, which is vegetables, instead of the king's meat, you know, and their countenance fared way better than the ones that was eating the king's meat. So you've been living out the decadency of Esau, right? And now, you know, you want to be looking famished, you know? You want to have a very bad look of perplexity on you people, man. You know? You got something up? Look at something.
Book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15 and verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Yeah, for the lack of bread and great tribulation. People gonna be going through some hardships, man. And they ain't gonna be giving a fuck. I gotta get it. My baby home. You know? They gonna put you people to death, man. You see signs of that. I watched man, I'll tell you a good movie to watch. World War Z. You know, when all hell broke loose at the beginning and shit, and he had to go get some medicine for his daughter, right? And they left the RV in the parking lot, right? And they ran inside the store. They went to grab his goods. I mean, it was all hell breaking loose, man. They went into the pharmacy, right? And they split up. The mother went with the youngest daughter, and the daddy went with the oldest daughter. When he went into the pharmacy, the dude draw down on him. You know, that was his shit. He was like, nah, you ain't need your shit. You know what I'm saying? But just so happened, he was of the same complexion. He probably was a tank, he could put his ass down on purpose. You know? He let him get his goods and resources. But then he heard his daughter screaming because men was taking his wife away. They were for to ravish her ass, man. See, this is the time we headed into, man. When all hell break loose. You know? You don't have, that's gonna be a sound you go into. Motherfuckers trying to get their helicopter. Cause you ain't ready to move out the street. Yeah, niggas flying helicopter. He know how to take off, but he don't know how to land that bitch. Now, that's what you better get ready to experience, man. Many great missions. All right now. Bye-bye. Yeah, man. You got something up?
Yeah, come.
That was that it or not?
Yeah, this 2nd Esdras 16 in verse 21. It's like verse 20. It's like maybe, verse 19.
Yeah.
It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute.
Right, when all these things start to happen, you're supposed to be considering that. Tribulation and anguish, famine, you know? Like, goddamn, how in the hell get out of this? You know? But Jake gonna have a carnal mind. Because he ain't been abreast of the fact. See, the ones who in that time started to repent, it was meant for them to repent, man. Go ahead, Al.
It says, but for all these things, they should not turn from their wickedness.
See? That's beautiful. That you gonna repent. They ain't gonna turn from their wickedness. You got it.
Lord be always mindful of the scourges.
Right.
Behold, visuals should be so good, cheap upon earth, that they should think themselves to be in a good case.
Yeah, see? And that's what you're seeing now. They think themselves to be in a good case, man. Still go to the grocery store. You can still go get your items, you know. Calamity hadn't really got up on your ass yet. You know? You still go to
Tears been kicking.
Oh yeah. Woo! And that's another thing. That cruel Lord, this nigga done implemented 10%, another tariff. 10% across everybody that's shipping something into America, man. You couple that with motherfuckers that lost their job, The inflation is already there. The hyperinflation is coming. Man, Lord get ready to put his foot in you people's ass, man. You got something, bro? Yeah, man. You got it, man.
It says that they should think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna cause them evils to grow, man. You know, those tariffs. You know, you see the events taking place are gonna lead, you know, to those those greater events, man. You know, the perilous times, you know, those difficult, hard times that was gonna come, you know, in the last days. You see, but you get in the mindset of the condition of the people, how they gonna be responding. You know, they gonna be invading one another, you know, doing all sorts of wickedness from these events taking place.
Mm-hmm.
You see? They said they're gonna be in great confusion. We speaking about the perplexity, you know, because a nigga just gonna want somebody to explain what's going on.
Right.
You know? But there ain't gonna be no answers out there. You know, the Lord say that He's gonna make the prophet's tongue clean to the roof of their mouth. There gonna be no edification. You just gonna have to deal with it, man.
Right. That's gonna be a beautiful thing. People have to deal with it, man. Like you mentioned, the Lord gonna close the mouth of the men of the Lord, man. You gonna look at your ass sideways, you ask for answers. Nigga, you went with me when I was shooting in the gym. You remember that? That's heavy, bro. Really is.
Damn.
Yeah, man. You went out here toiling and prophesying, man. Go ahead, bro. I was able to read that thoughts. Outside the midst.
You got it. You know, when you were just going into those tariffs that Trump's bringing out. I can't find the exact article, but I know Elder Aaron was bringing it out on Saturday, and I looked up something about presidents that did the tariffs, and I know it said Woodrow Wilson, by him having all those tariffs on the nations, it brought in the Great Depression.
It's calculated, man. That's how the Lord got things calculated on you people. The famine is approaching, and you doing line dance. Man, that was a heavy video.
You gotta wheel us back in.
You doing line dances in the famine approaching. You know, you in the spirit of mirth, and all hell setting to break loose. You know, and that's what's gonna contribute to your perplexity, man. You know, Big Shirley gonna lose when she ain't got shit to eat. She gonna lose it. She ain't usually not eating, man. Eat her chill. Better you than me, baby. I can have another one. You find
I found a little information, but it wasn't the exact one. This is AI overview. It says, while Woodrow Wilson's policies and the establishment of the Federal Reserve during his presidency played a role. Wow, this is a demon. He just exited off by himself.
wow, it did.
Literally.
I was reading it and it said, Esau said, no, pink that shit. Come on, man. See, that's history repeating itself too, man. Remember, the scripture said there is nothing new under the sun. Just because you ain't seen it don't mean it ain't gonna happen. Lord can make it manifest any way he wants. He can give you something totally different. Like
Yeah, something totally different.
that shit. And it was under the AI overview. Yeah, that shit. The fucking is, man. Your bitch ass nigga, man. That's why your kingdom funny in, nigga. Weak ass boy. The word killing his ass. Yeah, man. Sick as fuck. Yeah, that's why the one got it dead. Man. See if he can find it. You got something out? What they doing on that?
Yep.
Come. This is the book of Amos, chapter 8, and verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. If I may, we've been touching on, the physical famine is coming. But Yahweh Shem Yahushua is about to send a famine of hearing these words, man. And that's really gonna have you people fucked up out here, man. You know, the book about out, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time. You know, so a lot of people gonna be unstable. You know, and what that's gonna cause people to do, go down there and take that seat here, right? You know, because they're not gonna have this word, man. They're gonna make a rash decision and they're gonna go down there and take that seat here, man. But you know what the scripture says, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know, so we fear the Lord, man. You know, Lord willing, he keep that spirit on us, you know, to say like, man, fuck that shit, man. Fuck that goddamn seat here, man. You know, if I take that, the Lord gonna kill me, man. You know, that's the mindset to have, man, because ultimately that's what's gonna happen, man. If you take that micro seat here, man, you're gonna get a missile, man. You know, what the scripture said, what's that in Revelation? It said, Revelation 14. You know, the penalty. You know, for taking the seat here, man. You know, ultimately you're gonna be destroyed, man. You know, come.
No, you got it, bro. You got more?
Yeah. Come. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
Yep.
And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it.
Yeah, they shall not find it. I think I found it. When I entitled, I said Woodrow causes Great Depression by terrorists. The AI overview, it says while Woodrow Wilson's policies included terror reduction, they were not a direct cause of the Great Depression. We seen that. He flipped it. We read it the other day when the elder brought it up about it.
Hello, guys.
I found another. It says the Smoot-Hawley Terror Act of 1930, a landmark piece of legislation, raised import duties on thousands of goods, leading to retaliatory tariffs from other countries and a sharp decline in global trade, which many economists believe worsened the Great Depression.
Yeah, worse than the Great Depression, man. Well, how much more now when we enter into a time like none other, man, the time of second struggle. And that's heavy. I scrolled down in that same breath of the Smoot-Hawley Terror. I'm going to read this. It says, while the Great Depression had multiple causes, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which significantly raised tariffs on imported goods, is widely considered to have exacerbated the economic downturn by hindering international trade and global recovery. Now that word exacerbated, right? We can get that. The word exacerbated, simple Google definition, it says make a problem, bad situation, or negative feeling worse. So these tariffs are making shit worse, man. You know? That was a beautiful point that the Spirit, you know, as you remember that, man. Because that's what you're seeing occur now, man. He's making terrible decisions. It's going to exacerbate the famine. You know? It's going to make it worse. It's going to have you people in a real spirit. Like he blanked out the screen. See that? Oh, fine. That's taking time to happen. So it's going to be worse, man. Time with Jacob's trouble. Read that. Matter of fact, let's get there. Jeremiah 34.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30 and verse 4. And these are the words that the Lord spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus said the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness.
Right, you really gonna have that spirit of reflection, man. You know, scared shitless, holding yourself, don't know. Fuck. You know, that's how you people gonna be, man. That Jacob's trouble is gonna come upon everybody, man. but it's tailor made for Jake. But Jake, you hadn't been seeking the Lord while He may be found. You hadn't been doing the things needed for salvation in this time we're entering.
They ain't getting built up. Scripture tell you get ready for the battle.
Right.
And one of the things the Lord tell you to endure hardness like a soldier. And you go into that word hardness, endure hardness. One of the definitions would be evils. And that's also what Jacob's trouble is, man. Just a bad time, man, and really on the tribe. And if you ain't built up, you been line dancing and heads up and beauty salon and your dreads retwisted. All that crazy shit, man. You through, man. Your spirit ain't gonna be able. You might be manly, but your spirit ain't gonna be able to bear it. When your baby die, it's gonna be like Lord gonna be punching us in different areas, man. That we just gonna have to swallow and keep going. And Jake get hit. They go down.
Yeah. That's it.
2, 3. I don't know.
Yeah, Jake ain't gonna get back up.
Yeah, that's it.
We gonna lay down, man. And the Lord gonna deliver some heavy blows, man. Gunshots, liver shots,
Knees.
yeah. Straight up MMA on your ass, man. That's what the Lord has prepared, man. You go back to that Jeremiah.
It says, ask ye now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it.
See, 70 AD ain't gonna be like this day. When we brought over here, slavery ain't gonna be like this day. You was getting your ass whooped in them fields ain't gonna be like this day. None of that, man. It's gonna be a time like none other. You got it out.
Yep, it says, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, that he should be saved out of.
Right. Who is that he? The elect, man. The elect is gonna be saved out of the time of Jacob's trouble. Which is fastly approaching, man. You got Trump making these declarations, no more DEI, no more, you ain't worried about segregated, He's really trying to push that thing to being a civil war, man, and it's gonna happen. Because you got these militias now getting ready, and Jake being roused up, He's getting ready to fight against Esau. Well, that's prophecy, man. And things are gonna happen quickly too, man. Once that chip get implemented, shit gonna speed up. But we're seeing things speed up now. Lord said, except for those days shall be shortened. No flesh shall be saved, but for who? The elect's sake. That's why those days are gonna be shortened. We got more in that Jeremiah. Let's get that Daniel. Yeah, man. Shit gonna get real out here. Jake had been built up through the Spirit. You mentioned it. Scripture say, be as even as spirit. Let's get that. 2 Ezra 14. Got it, Daniel? Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1.
16.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people.
So it's going to get so bad that the archangel Michael is going to have to stand up, man. That's how bad it's going to get. The Lord going to have to send an angel down here to protect his elect, man. Oh, the angel of the Lord that camp around about them that fear him and that hope in his mercy. Go ahead, Al.
And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered.
Yeah, and at that time, thy people shall be delivered. See that? A time of trouble, man. You got more?
Every one that shall be found written in the book.
And that's heavy, man. The elder mentioned it last week. Those names, you called by your name, by that name. Your name written in the book of life, man. You literally hear Malachi, Zion, Samak, Zaki, you know? Yeah, man. You hear those things, man. Yeshaya, you know? Yeah, Lord willing, you know? Your name written in the book, man. You written in your house shop, man. See that? That was it on that? We get that second Ezra 40.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 40. O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle.
See that? You mentioned it. Make you ready to thy battle, man. And it's not going to be a physical battle, it's going to be a spiritual battle, man. You're going to hold fast to what the Lord said he's going to do. Go ahead.
And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
Yeah, see? In those evils. There's going to be some bad times, man. You're going to have to move around. Man. And the thing, man, TikTok is heavy, bro. A lot of seeing now shit pop up on my page. Jake trying to sell a book by a U.S. Marine who said make your house, fortify your house, or some crazy ass shit where your house is almost like your last stand. You know? You know what I mean? Yeah, man. You listen to that motherfucker you want. You gonna fucking die in their house. Yeah. Talking about collecting rainwater and planting vegetables. Man, you ain't gonna have time to do that shit, man. Yeah.
Scripture say, for to be carnal minded, you know, that leads to death. That's some carnal shit, man. You know, we thinking spiritually, man. You know, we believe that our power can send a force field around our house and protect our house, you know, and destroy everything around us, man. You know, this is the power we serve, man. You know, when it said to be spiritual minded, that leads to everlasting life, man.
Yep.
You know, so we gonna need the angels encamping around us, you know, protecting us, man. You know, in these evil times, man. Because we know we can't fortify shit, man. Especially fucking with Esau.
Right.
You know, he sent a drone attack, you know, and tear your fucking fort down, man.
Right.
You know, it's like,
Now that's beautiful. So this just popped up, man. World embraces for economic pain as White House confirms Trump will go ahead with tariffs. See that? Real time. You know? Hey, man, it's going to far exceed the Great Depression, man. Oh,
I just looked it up.
1929, man. 1929, man. Lord willing, we won't have to wait till 2029. Fuck that.
Last 12 years.
Ooh. That's go ahead.
If I may, it says from 1929 to 1941, the longest and deepest downturn in the history of the United States and the modern industrial economy lasted more than a decade, beginning in 1929 and ending during World War II in 1941.
So what was the catalyst of the goddamn Great Depression in? A fucking world war, man. Now you know the sword is in fucking power, man. That's heavy. Just skimming through this article. It said the White House is expected to unveil full details of tariffs at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, which Mr. Trump has hailed as Liberation Day. Yeah, liberate your ass to your death. Fucking idiot. I want to speak to say, a cruel Lord is gonna rule over them, man. Also, an unwise king destroyed his people. He's destroying you people, man. You got more on that?
I looked up what happened during the Great Depression. It says the Great Depression, a severe global economic downturn from 1929 to 1941, saw widespread unemployment, poverty, and bank failures, culminating in the stock market crash of 1929 and the Dust Bowl, which led to the New Deal and ultimately World War II.
Ain't no damn New Deal this time. They said bank failures. You seeing that now, man? These banks closing down, these banks being consolidated to the bigger banks and shit. You ain't really seeing no little small banks anymore. Ain't no more AmSouth, ain't no more South Trust,
ATM.
Wells Fargo. You know? It's gonna be Bank of America, these big conglomerate banks, man. And Elder Pastor Hart went into that last year sometime where you see these small banks being taken over by these big banks, man. See? You have more information? Yeah, man. Fucking weirdo. Yeah, he probably smoking that good there. Damn demons on his ass. He trying to escape that shit. Yeah, bugged out. That was it on that? Who was on something? You on something? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Root 4 and verse 30. It's like verse 31. It says, miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy churches serve. Miserable is she that received thy son.
Right.
It says, for as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation.
See? Go ahead.
It says, for I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning.
Yeah, her pride shall be turned in the morning, man. That's what you seeing occur now. The Lord is taking away the rejoicing of her multitude. And we know that word multitude going to mass, you know, the masses of people, which is what? Death. Oh, you slated it to die, man. See? He sanctioned the fall of America back in the world, man. It's gonna happen. See? That was it on that?
Yeah, that's it on that.
Got anything else?
Just a little information. You know, because we were talking about the famine, and it said when one of the searches that came up, when was the last famine in the world? It says the last large-scale famine affected the Horn of Africa in 1984 to 1985 and 1992, and North Korea in the mid-1990s. Since that time, only one large-scale famine has occurred, a devastating crisis in southern Somalia in 2011 that killed 250,000 people. So, you know, just shows, you know, it's not far-fetched, you know, of a famine coming, man. You know, this is just in 2011, you know. Wait till it come to America, man, you know. And again, we seeing, you know, these different shortages. You know, wait till it come to America, aka Babylon the Great, man. You know, that number's gonna be way higher, you know. Good.
You can even see the build up to it from many different recalls. You know, the food being contaminated, and even with the tariffs. You see job losses, all that's going to contribute to the famine taking place, man. The retail apocalypse. Right. You know, all these grocery stores and convenience stores closing down, all that's going to contribute to the famine unfolding here in America. So, got some real.
You got it, bro.
Yeah, this is Second Ezra, chapter 16, in verse 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. You see, so that famine is an event that's going to take a lot of people out, man. You know, and you see the build up to it. You see this guy, he's starting to cancel your food stamps. You know, the Lord said that he was going to break every staff of bread, and that ultimately goes into your support of life. These grocery stores shutting down, you know, the produce and everything drying up. You see, the farmers, you know, they the forest fire that's destroying their crops. All these things ultimately going to turn out to a famine. These full storehouses being found empty, man. You know.
So like if I made you see, it was a lot of honeybees.
Oh, yeah.
You know that they saying dying out. You know, there go your honey, man. You know,
right?
Well, that's your how about Shimei Awashai increasing the famine, man. You know, I also include, you know, if I may, all these different rivers drying up here in America. You know, the Mississippi, You know, it's down. You know, when that's your how about Shimmy, I was shot cutting off the whole stay of water, man. You know, and also the whole stay of bread. You know, but things is only gonna get worse.
That's right.
You know, just a few years ago, they had the mega drought in
Come,
2020.
come.
And it's about to get hot again, man.
Yeah.
You know, you might see animals dropping dead, you know, because that was going on because the livestock was being, because the water was drying up and shit, the crops were being irrigated. So you had a big loss. Can't forget about the bird flu. You know, that took out millions of your chickens. You see? So,
Right.
you know, you really playing with nothing. You see? If, you one event away, where they say you one paycheck away from being outside, you one event away from not eating, man.
Yeah, I got the brother Nathan Yawasaki dropped an article in the chat, you know, regarding the financial thing. So Zelle, used by 150 million, shuts down its app. Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people use Zelle, man. It's transactioning money and shit, you know. It says one of the biggest names in digital banking. See that? Everything is headed to a digital currency, man. But they ain't no longer only just closing down these physical banks. They closing down these digital banks too, man. Where your only recourse is going to be able to take that C-help, man. And a lot of people gonna take it, man. It says one of the biggest names in digital banking has officially shut down its apps, sending millions scrambling to make sure they have a way of sending money. See? And what that's going to eventually do, have them go into another direction, you know, of trading their money and shit, you know, and eventually they're going to have to go to the way of the C-help, man. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to buy and sell in this fucking society, man. You know? You got that the information that you had, brother?
I Googled how many people died from starvation in the Great Depression.
See, that's heavy though, man. Because we read in
Starvation, it's like
bro. In Ecclesiastes, a wise man will think about death all the time. So what we going into? Death, man. See, that would make you wise, man. You meditating on the wrath that is set to come. See, you constantly watching. You got it, bro.
It says, while the Great Depression caused widespread hardship and hunger, it's difficult to pinpoint an exact number of deaths directly attributable to starvation in the U.S. But documented cases in 1931 and 1934 suggested a significant issue.
A significant issue, man. You know? And I think it said a lot of the stuff wasn't documented. So it probably far exceeds what they have on paper, man. But you got it out.
It says in New York City alone, there were at least 20 documented cases of starvation in 1931, and this number rose to 110 in 1934.
Man, you probably multiply that times 5, man. So it's really like 500, you know? Yeah, times 50, you know? It really got there a wide range of number of people who died of starvation because of the Great Depression, man.
Got some more information. It says many people struggle to afford food, leading to hunger and malnutrition.
See that?
Now, maybe that's going to lead you over to more pestilence, because your body ain't even healthy enough to fight off the pestilence. And it says, bread lines and soup kitchens were established to provide food to those in need. Like I said, Esau gonna be leading you in, like, you ain't got this, you can't come in here. We got some soup for you.
Yeah. Cause see, we went into that word famine in Revelation, and it says scarcity of harvest, which means shortage. That word scarcity. So it ain't like it's gonna be gone. They're gonna be controlling the supply. As the brother mentioned, you gonna have to have that seed to go through those bread lines. Oh, Scripture say those who consent unto them gonna be had in derision. They try nothing, so it ain't gonna be a benefit to you. You know, just to get by, just to get by. Yeah, that's how you people gonna be, man. Just getting by. Hey, and the elect said, the Scripture said the elect is gonna have abundance, man. So again, our countenance, Lord willing, gonna look way better than you people, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come.
It says over 50,000 New York citizens were homeless by the end of 1932.
Damn, how many?
50,000.
You know you ain't got nowhere to live. You definitely ain't got nothing to eat. 50?
Yeah.
How much more now, man? You know? I remember Elder Pastor Ramna was going into information through the Spirit. He had said that the Lord is bringing back all the spirits to be punished. And then an article popped up that says more people on the earth now than ever before. You know? It's all through the Spirit, you know? Off the shop. You know, that's all through the Spirit. The apostle was right on, man. You know? For all you people, it was 50,000. It will be 250,000 this time, man. Homeless.
That's in New York City
Alone.
50 states.
Come on, man. So how much more you other people, man? In these rural areas. Scripture say they gonna run into the mountains, you know, and drink their own blood, as it were. For tribulation and the lack of bread, man. You have more information?
It says suicide rates increased during the Great Depression.
Listen, man, if you go into the account of suicides now, that shit is ridiculous. Motherfuckers like, shit, I don't see no way out. Let's just die.
Yeah.
And they putting their kids to death. They whole family going. I remember seeing a story a couple of months ago where a dude killed his whole family and put himself to death. Man.
It's like you seen the bitch that jumped off Niagara Falls with her kid.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
That's right.
Times hard to bear, man. Going into some tough times. And like you brought out earlier, all these are just the beginning of sorrow. It's finna get worse than that, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's finna get fucking worse than that, man. You know?
Man, that's heavy, man. Because I mentioned it. When the Lord started healing them damn punches, they ain't gonna know how to react to it. You know? Look at you, a left, right, roundhouse. You know? Knock their ass out, man. Oh, what is that? That Psalms 89 to 23. Let's get that real quick, both out. We're gonna get back to the information. Yeah. Oh yeah. You better pull it up. That's spirit. Man, man, you ain't lying. That's that spirit though. Yeah, it been 2 hours. Yeah. 89 to 23. Yeah. Man, come on, man. Yeah, be dragged, yeah. You ready for this shit to be over with? I was at work today, like, damn, 2 more days. 2 hours of flew by out here through the spirit probably out by shot, man. That's beautiful, man. And that's another sign that the Lord's speeding this thing up. You know? We were just out here last week. We back out here again, you know? You got that out?
Yeah, this Psalm 89, verse 23, it says, and I will beat down his foes before his face and plague them that hate him.
Yeah, and plague them that hate him, man. See that? Yeah, man. So the Lord said he's going to beat down our foes before his face, man. That's what you see in the curve, man. The Lord left, right, roundhouse, knee to the gut, uppercut, you know? There's a lot of them, man. This place is infested with this shit, man. It's an infestation. Oh, you good? I'm gonna get it right here. That word plague. I want to get that word plague in a simple Google definition. I got it. Now we all know it's a contagious plague, but it's also in the verb form cause a continual trouble or distress too. So it's what you saying, the Lord is causing a continual trouble and distress to Babylon the Great, man. So much so it's causing these people to lose their fucking mind, man. You know? As you mentioned, the woman jumping off Niagara Falls with her children, the man putting to death his whole family because they can't cope with the situations that they're in, man. How much more when the lights go out, man? You know? And the Gurkha troops rolling up and down your block, you know? You ain't got shit to eat, you know? And that's gonna be a beautiful time and prophecy for you people who shun the gospel, man. Yo, Lord gonna give you what you ask for. He gonna give it to you. Yeah.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, and verse 21. And if you walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you.
Yeah, distress, man, anguish.
According to your sin.
Yeah, according to your sins, so the Lord gonna pay you back. What is that? 2nd Ezra 15 and 26. So can you get that real quick, Papa Shaw? We're gonna come back to that.
This book of Psalms, it's like a 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 26. For the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction.
So he delivered them to death and destruction, man. So you walking contrary to your how about Shaw? So he gonna deliver your ass to death and destruction, man. Can you imagine? You fighting against somebody with a sword, all he doing is swinging. You best be on the backside of him so you ain't catching the blows, man. But that's what the Lord is doing. He's plaguing you people, man. By way of the mind, you know, having you feeling distress. What's that, Ecclesiastes? You know, where there's no hope. Those that look out the windows be darkened. You don't see your way out of the situation that you in. So now you like, let me just put myself to death. And that was one of the symptoms of what? The Great Depression. You know? What you got, Doc?
I got that word for plagues. It's H4347. It says a blow, wound,
A wound. See?
slaughter.
Slaughter, yeah, that's what the Lord getting ready to do to you people, man. Put a deadly wound in your mind, you know? And it's going to manifest physically also. You got it.
Beating, scourging.
Oh, those scourges for amendments? See, you ain't paying attention, man. Lord getting your ass a way out. He's like, hey, I'm gonna beat your ass. You know? And we went back to that analogy a couple weeks back. You know, them ass whippings, man, that belt to ass. And the worst ones when your ass naked, man. You know? That's the worst ones. Jake ain't got no covering right now. You got it out.
It says defeat. In the strong definition, it says carnage.
Yeah. Ooh, carnage. Dang.
Simple Google definition of carnage. It says the killing of a large number of people.
That's what the Lord getting ready to do. The killing of a large number of people, man. Woo. You got it.
Similar words, massacre, mass murder, mass destruction.
Woo, man. Hey, that word mass. Going back to the multitude of the people, man. Lord getting ready to put your ass to death, man. You got it out.
Bloodbath.
Man, that's heavy, bro. Let me show you something. That's heavy. A bloodbath, right? Yeah, and that's the spirit. I know what I'm talking about. I told Ak about it. Lord willing. Lord willing, I got this lesson now. Many great miseries. Check this out. A bloodbath, right? Where is it? Check this out. That's the spirit. Spirit heavy. It says, it's a bloodbath. Come on, man. This is from CNN.com.
That's right.
It's a bloodbath. A massive wave of job cuts underway at U.S. health agencies. See, many great miseries, man. Come on, man. That carnage, you know, was part of those players the Lord said he promised to bring. If you walk contrary, it's going to be a bloodbath, man. And it's building up to the point where you people are going to be perplexed, man. You're not going to have any answers, not going to have a way out, you know? And you're going to be, what is that, Jeremiah 15, whither shall we go? She ain't going to tell your ass go to the field camp, you know? Yeah, you finna die. That's how we're going to be able to tell your ass. The Spirit, the Lord ain't going to, we read it, well, we quoted it earlier, where the Lord's going to have our tongue clean to the roof of our mouth, man. We'll be dumb, you know, basically. You got more?
I got a little more information just to back you on what he just brought out. It's a bloodbath because of the job losses and going into the Great Depression suicide rates. He said suicide rates increased during the Great Depression, peaking with unemployment in the most recessionary years.
Golly, the most recessionary years, man. Now I'm gonna look up something. Has suicides increased? Look at that. I ain't even had to put it in increase. It says suicide rates increased 37% from 2000 to 2018, right? And check this out. It says, and decreased 5% between 2018 and 2020. However, rates returned to peak in 2022. Hey, you think it's a law? Now the Lord's shooting that shit back up, man. And it's gonna increase more. You know? Yeah. Many great miseries, man. The time of evil is approaching fast, man. Hey, we in the midst of those bad times. And that's why you people are already bugging out. But the elect, you see something?
Quick, just came on my phone.
Hey, breaking news.
Yeah.
Lord said, put that out there. Tell them. See what I'm doing? But you got it.
It's a little old, but still, it says New Jersey mom unalive her baby by leaving newborn in toilet for hours after giving birth.
Damn. So she gave birth in a toilet and left the newborn, man. Come on, man. You don't see the psychotic state of these people, man? You best believe that's gonna grow.
I'll make cover real quick. 87-year-old woman unalive after her 27-year-old grandson jumped on her.
She probably cut the Wi-Fi off.
Cuz.
You got it out.
23-month-old boy unalive after his intoxicated mother was so under the influence of drugs, repeatedly slammed his head against the wall.
She was trying to escape. That's why she was under the influence of drugs, man. She was trying to escape the feeling that she had of the oppression that's here in America, man. What is that, Isaiah? The Mary Hearted Do Sigh? You know? Go ahead, Al.
Chris Watts' daughter's devastating final words before being unalived by her dad. Daughter shoots father, leaving him in critical condition. Hospital staff believe husband's death was suspicious.
Yeah, the love of many is waxing cold, man. And mainly in those articles was family, you know? But that's what you're seeing, man. The people, the mindset of the people is at an all-time low because of who's in power, man. And those things are going to increase in the times that we're in. Again, the Lord has given you people over to a cruel Lord and an unwise king destroy his people, man. You get that? You got something? Let's get that Job.
This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 19.
Start at 17.
This is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 17. Behold, happy is the man who the Most High corrected.
Right. That's why we are being judged now, being punished now, so we won't be punished with the world, man. So you understanding those things, you're going to be happy when the Lord corrects you. Oh, what does it say? Correct me not in thine anger. You know? You got it out.
Therefore despise not thou the chastisement of the Almighty.
See?
For he maketh sore and bindeth up. He wounded and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles.
Yeah, these 6 troubles we've been speaking about, man. These certain plagues the Lord is bringing. You know, the famine, the sedition, you know, all hell breaking loose. Go ahead.
Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
And what's that 7? When those ICBM missiles are shot out the hill, buried from Babylon the Great, man. See? You would say the righteous is going to scarcely be saved. You got it.
In famine he shall redeem thee from death. And in war from the power of the sword.
And in war from the power of the sword. You see that? In famine, man. So it's going to be the Lord that's going to feed his elect, man. Why you people out there starving to death? You know? Again, it's going to be worse than the Great Depression. See? You got it.
Come. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh.
Go ahead.
At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh.
Now, what kind of spirit you going to have on you to laugh at destruction and famine, man? You know? Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the field.
See? Hey, you're going to be at league with the beasts of the field. These people going to be getting eaten for your face, man. And guess what? That's going to extend all the way into them damn robo dogs, man. You know? Some of those newly created creatures. You don't see Pokemon pop up on your ass too, man. Go ahead.
Come. For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee.
See? And the beasts of the field are going to be at peace with thee, man. But that is for the elect. That ain't for everybody. You got more? We're going to close it out here.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, and verse 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish.
See? Go ahead.
For I will have required them from among thy number.
See, the Lord is going to require his servants from among you people, man. He going to take his jewels, he going to put them up, he going to have them preserved. Go ahead.
Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh,
Yeah, the day of trouble and heaven is coming. Go ahead.
others shall weep and be sorrowful.
See? Go ahead.
But thou shalt be merry and have abundance.
See? Thou shalt be merry and have abundance, man. You people going to be eating the rat off the rat trap, you know, drinking toilet water. See? You got it out.
The heathen shall envy thee,
Yeah.
but they shall be able to do nothing against thee,
Yeah.
saith the Lord Yahweh by Shem
See,
Shai.
the heathen, these people gonna envy us, man. Lord willing, you know. But they ain't gonna be able to do shit against us. See? Go ahead.
My hands shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell.
Yeah, you're gonna be protected, man. See that? Or your children will not see hell. Go ahead.
Be joyful, O thou mother.
Oh, that was it on that. Okay. So we're gonna be protected, Lord willing, in that day, man. You know, that's the reward for serving Yahweh by Shah, man. You know, being able to eat in the time of famine, being protected from the teeth of wild beasts. You got something? You got it out? Yeah.
It is Psalm 37, verse 19. They should not be ashamed in the evil time.
Yeah, see, you people gonna be ashamed. Going back to being embarrassed, one of the definitions of perplexity, man. You'll be perplexed. You're not gonna have any answer. But the elect is not gonna be ashamed. Go ahead.
And in the days of famine, they shall be satisfied.
See? Satisfied, man. That's the promise to the elect, man. The ones who hearken to the report. So we pray this been edifying. We're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakam.
double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Till the next time, shalom.
Shalom.